Ah, look who's back in all of his glory. Clay Matthews. Remember when Clay joined us all the time? Former Packer great, USC Trojan. Where you been, Clay?
I've been waiting for an invite, Dan. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
I haven't played in a few years now, but ultimately, I figured
Hmm.
I figured you'd want me back on for our commentary. In fact, you got a plush doll of me right in front of you. I think I see it. I think I see it.
Wait, is that? Let me see if that's you.
It's right. Yeah.
Yep, it's got you on it. Look at that.
Oh,
It's my little,
I
but I
knew
stick
you would
pins
do
in it
that.
sometimes. Do you
Oh,
feel that?
is that why my career ended so
oh,
abruptly?
okay. Why did the Packers not want you back anymore?
Well, they went in a different direction. They ended up they signed Zadarius and Preston, and they had a good what year was that? 2019, 2020, 2020, I believe. Yeah. I think once Mike McCarthy was let go at the end of that year, we had a new D coordinator at the time, Mike Pettin, and there had to be some changes, and ultimately I was one of the casualties, and it's unfortunate because I wanted to finish my career there. I wanted, was hoping to get another contract to finish out there. I still felt like I had something in the tank, and I thought I showed that the following year in LA. But listen, Dan, if there's anybody who understands the business side of the sport, it's me. So obviously I'm human, but I'm at peace with where I'm at in life now in my career.
Have you announced your retirement?
Well, how does that work? I mean, do you have to officially say, you're retired
If you
or
say
what?
it right now, you can do it right now. Just say,
Now
I,
you, I, now I don't want to limit myself, Dan, because you've seen the movie Mr. 3000, right? With
yeah,
Bernie Mac.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm a couple sacks away from 100, so
I think you got,
I
what,
don't.
8 to go?
Yeah,
Eight or
something like
nine?
that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just a couple games.
If
I
you would
knock
have
out.
played against the Giants last night, you could have knocked out 4 probably.
You're probably right. So I think it's best if we just leave it as free agent.
Okay. If you could join any team right now,
Hmm. Based on what? Defensive needs or just how they're rolling?
just the team that you would join.
But I think Buffalo. I
Okay.
mean, despite their loss this past week, I mean, playing opposite Vaughn, and you think about their loss last year in what was it, the divisional round? I mean, how that game would have played out with Cincinnati. That would have been a fun one to watch.
What
I
do
don't
you
want to see.
think that number is for the Hall of Fame? Like, is 100 sacks Hall of Fame like guaranteed?
I feel like that's a prerequisite, but I think if you look at specifically in my case, for 2 of those years, I played middle linebacker. Dan, they moved me to middle backer, in which case naturally, my tackles went up, sacks went down. So if you're looking at those numbers, I think there's an asterisk by it if you're setting the barometer at 100 sacks. But I think that ultimately is fair to say.
But I also wonder there's more pass attempts now. So when you look at sack records, it's like receiving yards, passing touchdowns. It feels like rushing yards is the one that's going to decrease, where all of a sudden you're going to go, God, that guy got to 10,000 yards, and that'll be a big deal again. Um, but I think that's the one category where you're going to see a reduction, whereas there's going to be more interceptions, more sacks, more touchdown passes, more receptions in the game.
Sure. Sure. So we need to increase that threshold to what? 110, 120.
Maybe
But
110.
also you gotta, with the you gotta look at the longevity of these pass rushers. I mean, if you're averaging 10 sacks a year, play for 10 years, that's it's hard at that position. It's a physically demanding position. I don't think you see a lot of guys. I mean, Vaughn has defied time, and you see a few other guys quietly, hovering around 100, but ultimately, I mean, it's tough.
When you look at Micah Parsons, what do you see?
Oh, he's a stud. I like him. I think he's still raw too, believe it or not. I know he had an outstanding rookie season and start to this season, but the fact that he was, I mean, is he supposed to be a stack backer? Is
I
that what
think
he
that,
was drafted?
yeah, I think so. I think middle linebacker, and then they put him at linebacker, and now he's just basically like Lawrence Taylor. Just go get the
Yeah.
quarterback. Just
Yeah.
freelance.
No, I listen. I think the thing you're finding out in this league more often than not is like you need to find a way to get your best players involved in the game plan. If his is kind of just being turning them loose on the edge or blitzing them up the middle, you got to find a way to do that. I did that, early in my career, whether I was rushing inside, outside, playing inside back. You got to find a way to take advantage of mismatches, and whoever's the D coordinator over there has done a good job, and Mike has done so as well. I know he didn't have any sacks last night, but was he a 4 on the year or something already?
When's the last time you talked to Aaron Rodgers?
I texted him like 2 days ago. It was a text. I wouldn't say it was a talk.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, somebody tagged me in this. There's this loser Vikings fan who has all these tattoos on his body. Loser, hey Dan, a loser, and he's got all these tattoos on his body, and one of them is him beheading me, like a tattoo of him beheading me, and Aaron was on there as well. There's Drew Brees has arrows in his back. I think there's Roethlisberger. It's one of the lamest things you've ever seen. I had to send it Aaron's way because it was so bad. And the delusion from these NFC North fan bases is remarkable.
Are you concerned that there's a tattoo of you on a guy and you're being beheaded?
I mean, I don't know. Should I? I mean, I took it all in and I thought, should I be offended? And then I wasn't. I went on living my life.
Okay. So you just text Aaron Rodgers. There's no phone calls. What happened to the relationship here?
You said what happened to the relationship?
Yeah. What happened?
The relationship's great.
What about his haircut? Do you comment on his haircut?
Oh yeah, definitely. I haven't commented on on his latest, with the shaved sides and whatnot. But when he had his long hair, I mean, he was craving the attention that I got for my long hair. Wow. And I think ultimately it's funny because he used to make fun of me for my long hair, and now here he is trying to be like me. Ultimately, Dan, would you say he's just trying to be like me?
I think he's searching right now. I think he's looking for love, his journey, ayahuasca.
Well, I tell you one thing, he's definitely found, and that's the fountain of youth and being a stud quarterback. There's no denying that.
Well, he's not going to play. What are you going to play this year, next year, you think? And that's it?
He says he wants to retire a Packer. Well, how many years does he have left?
Yeah, but you did too.
Oh yeah, good point. But I didn't have $50 million annually waiting for me. I would have played as long as I could. I don't know. I think sooner rather than later.
Could you go out in Green Bay, like socially?
No.
Because Aaron doesn't go out. Favre went out, but Aaron, I think, just stays in his house, does he? Like you can't go out to get dinner at Applebee's.
Whereas you have some bigger cities where you can kind of slip in and out. Green Bay is small, and Aaron is the guy up there. I mean, the next biggest franchise is 2 hours south in Milwaukee. You got obviously Bucks, Brewers, and then Chicago. Even further south. But ultimately, you are that guy up there, and you know how much football means to Wisconsinites.
You're working with Tide. What are you doing with Tide?
They just can't get rid of me. They need a guy who just can push product, push weight, and I'm that pusher. Okay. Wow. So I'm teaming up with Tide this season, and we're tackling superstitions around fans' lucky jerseys. And ultimately, your jersey may be lucky, but it's definitely dirty. And we're trying to get you to wash your jersey with preferably Tide. And if you go to my Instagram page, I just posted a video asking kind of you, the fan, what it would take for you to wash your lucky jersey, and go ahead and comment, and you enter a chance to win some big prizes. So we're just trying to have some fun with all the fan bases, see what's out there, see what dirty, disgusting jerseys we can find, and try and motivate them to clean up, tighten up a little bit.
Could you be ready in 3 weeks to play?
If you gave me a month, I could be ready. Yeah.
Do you privately root for injuries? I mean, not season-ending injuries, but injuries. Like to an edge rusher. Like, do you go, oh, we could be? Oh,
I actually had a few injury. I watched a few injuries in 2020 to some edge rushers where my phone immediately started getting some texts. But unfortunately, the offers coming in were they weren't moving the needle, to say the least.
okay.
They were a little insulting. So.
But once again, this isn't about money.
No, it's not about money.
It's about 9 more sacks.
Oh, yes. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah. I mean, you want to go to work and feel that, feel like you're being compensated accordingly. But you're right. I mean, at this point, money doesn't matter. I just need those 8.5 more sacks. So, I mean, Buffalo, give me 4 weeks. I'm ready. I'm not retired. I'm free agent for life.
I will pass it on to them. Hey, it's great to see you again, and I hope you're doing well.
Please take the pins out of the back. Please, okay?
I'm sorry to take the pins out of your little doll that I have here. Thank you, Clay.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Dan.
That's Clay. That's Clay Matthews Jr. the third.